Well, Lane, thank you so much for joining me on the podcast today.
So good to be here. Thanks for having me,
Yay.
Arlena.
Yes, I'm super excited to talk to you. You are doing so much. You
Mm.
are, is it fair to say that you are a recovery advocate?
Oh, yes.
This is an
I'm all about
understatement.
it. Yes.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm going to definitely be asking you about the types of work that you do and all of that. But you are the host of the Connected Calm Life.
Yes.
So we'll be talking about that. And you're doing a series called Time Takes Time, which is kind of how we met. Because I saw something on the Sober Curator that was like, if you have long-term recovery, I was like, me, I
Yeah.
got long-term recovery. So that's how we got connected. I'm so looking forward to that.
Yeah. It's hard to find people with time. There's a lot of
Really?
1-year-olds. There's a lot of, 18 months. There's a lot of 3-year-olds. But when you get past that 10, 15 mark, there's not a lot of people um, raising their hand. So
Really?
yeah, I'm a curator with the Sober Curator, and we collaborate. And I said I need to find some people. So that was a really great post. And then having people respond and say, "Look, I have 15 or I have 20." I was like, "Yes, there
I
are
think a
some."
lot of, yeah, my husband got sober in 88. He's
Mm,
maintained sobriety the whole time. I got sober
yeah,
in 94 and maintained sobriety. And so I was so grateful that I was like, oh, somebody cares.
right.
Somebody cares about long-term recovery.
We're just as important as people with 1 year and 2 year and 3 year.
I,
Like,
would argue that we have a lot to offer and could save
yes.
people some suffering. I've raised children in recovery.
Yeah.
I've had parents die. I've had friends die.
Mhm.
I've, managed a career and kids. So I feel like I have a lot to offer.
Yeah.
But that doesn't seem to get the attention online. It feels like.
Right. And I think that's why I'm highlighting Time Takes Time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I really appreciate
Because
that.
we do have a lot of information and a lot
Yeah.
that we can share with our newer friends.
Yeah, I love the newer friends. I got to tell you, but I love
Yeah.
my long timers too. I don't like the
Mhm.
term old timer.
No, no,
We
it's
just call it long timer.
long timer. We're long timers.
Yeah, I've been sober a long time.
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait to hear who else you're going to have in that
Mhm.
series. So I'll
Mhm.
definitely be subscribing and
Yeah.
listening in. I can't wait. I thought we would start with a fun little game called the lightning round, which is meant to provide resources right up front.
Okay.
So, do you have a favorite recovery book?
Came to believe.
Oh, right off the, oh, that was a quick one.
Mhm.
Came to believe. What was it about that book that you enjoyed so much?
Uh, Candid, short pages, reflections around God, around the
Oh,
God, around this spirit that I need to be plugged into in order to maintain standing vertical on the planet. Like,
right.
I need that source in order to stay sane and to stay away from a drink.
I love that. Did you grow up with with church or a
Oh
concept
God,
of
no,
God?
no,
No.
no, no.
Okay. Did you have preconceived ideas about, obviously, you probably had some preconceived ideas about God. And so,
Uh, you know, I have had a long history around religion, and I wasn't like I was afraid of it, and then I liked it, and then I didn't want anything to do with it. When I was finding recovery, I was fortunate enough to get involved with Michael Beckwith and Agave in Los Angeles, and I studied with him and was on the path to becoming a spiritual practitioner guide, and because I really fell in love with
hmm,
the words that he was speaking. And what I've discovered since then is it's spiritual. It's
yeah,
not religious.
it's
It's
spiritual.
spiritual.
Yeah. Huge difference.
Huge.
Huge
So
difference
huge.
day and
Yeah.
night. I love Michael Beckwith. He's amazing.
Yeah.
Is he still at the Agave Center?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, he's still there. That's so
Yeah.
cool. I noticed it. He cut off all his
Oh yeah.
dreads or
All gone. I know, right?
well, everybody changes.
He changes.
That's
But that's the
good.
thing. What I love about him is he evolves and changes just as we do. And
Yeah.
he shows it. He
Yeah.
shines with it.
I
I love
love
it.
that.
Yeah. He
Yeah, there is no
embraces it.
finish line.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I feel like we're either all evolving or devolving. And I have
Yeah.
done I feel like I've done the simultaneous
Yes.
evolve in some areas,
Yeah.
regress in others.
Right.
It's just how it is. Thank you. I love that. Do you have a go-to mantra or quote that you live by or that has helped you?
I am love.
So simple. I am love.
Yeah.
Man, how powerful is that I am statement?
That's it. That's enough right there.
Yeah.
Right. So many humans are walking around hurting and not even realizing that they're a part of the planet because they're in overwhelm. But when you just say, I am, like, I am here, I am enough, I am love, I am present, I am a part of, that's like huge.
It's huge. Perfect. Do you have a regular self-care or recovery routine, like weekly or daily?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I participate in a group of other ladies every day. Every day, I'm there with them. And I also, I serve in that group. I show up. I help others. I mentor others. I have a deep spiritual practice that I'm involved with in the morning and at night, and sometimes even during the day.
What does your deep spiritual practice involve?
I become horizontal and I place a blanket over me and I put an eye pillow on top and I plug into my teacher and I just listen and go into a deep meditation.
Is it a specific teacher or?
Yeah, I listen to, specific teacher.
You don't want to share who it is. Okay. All right. So it's
it's a meditation.
Twice a day.
Practice. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Meditation.
And sometimes, in the middle of the day, if things are really, like this past week, it's been a little bit trying for me. And I've had to take, small timeouts in the middle of the afternoon. And I just sit quietly in my chair and close my eyes and breathe. I mean, it can be that simple sometimes.
Right. Yeah. I heard this.
I also give myself permission to say, I can't do that today, Arlena. I have to change my plan with you. Right.
Like good.
Yeah. Like I had a couple of appointments this past week where I couldn't bring my full self. So I had to call them and I said, I hope you're okay with this and that you find that you can take care of yourself while I'm taking care of myself because it's been a hard week and we'll reschedule.
Yeah. That's good. Man, that's so important to listen. I feel like the meditation, like when I do it regularly, it helps me to tune in to my own needs.
Yes.
And when I'm connected to my own needs, then I can communicate what I need to others.
Yes.
Instead of just being in that overwhelmed, kind of shorted out, disconnected place.
Right. No, I don't want to be there anymore.
I know. Is that awful?
It's yeah.
I know. I often slip back there. So I need all these daily practices, prayer, meditation, all that stuff. Love it. And what's one thing you wish you knew when you first got sober?
I wish I knew to slow down, like making decisions. I'm really quick to make a decision. Like I made decisions to like travel around to the other side of the planet, like in a moment within a breath. And like, if I would have just taken a moment to pause before making that decision, that trip would have been that would have been great. It would have been I mean, it was great as it was, but it would have been far better. Or, like, so just slowing down would have been great.
You know what? They say in the military, they say that slow is smooth and smooth is fast.
Yes. I get
I was
that.
like, yeah, I was like, that's deeply spiritual to me.
Yeah.
Slow down.
I
Just
get
slow
that.
down.
Mm-hmm,
My
mm-hmm.
little ADHD brain is always like, so genius advice. Slow down.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do for fun?
What do I do for fun? Well, I'll cook. Like, I'll cook a new recipe. I just got Drew Barrymore's Rebel Homemaker, and like last night, I made this new dish, and I don't know, that it makes it's fun. It's fun to put together something. So I like to cook. I mean, I told you before we started, I have 2 Irish Wolfhounds. So taking them out and just watching them get crazy is so much fun.
Outside the house.
Yeah, outside the
Irish
house.
Wolfhounds are big. They're big dogs,
They're huge.
right?
Yeah, they're the biggest.
Are they bigger?
Dog.
They're bigger than Great Danes, right?
Yeah, they're bigger.
I have a girlfriend who has one, and she would put it in the back of her Jeep, and it was just the funniest.
Like a small horse.
Yeah, I was like, oh, there's a, and then you said you had 2.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. Yeah. Taking them out. I bet that has to be a lot of fun.
It fills my heart just to watch them.
Oh,
so great.
I love that. Man, pay attention to what fills your heart, right? And then do more of that.
Do more of it.
I love it. Well, that was it for the lightning round.
Oh,
I love the idea of books and great quotes and the daily practice that you do. I feel like there's the resources right off the bat.
Yeah.
Maybe you could share with us a little bit about your, experience, strength, and hope, what was your family like growing up and what led you to where we are now?
Oh, family.
I know. Yeah, I'm like, oh,
that's a loaded question, Arlena. Family, you know what? God bless my family. Honestly, like they were just doing the best they could. I'm a product of the 70s, and back then it was a different world. Peace and love. I grew up in Golden Gate Park. Watching Jefferson Airplane and Rolling Stones and Fleetwood Mac. It was just a different time. And I grew up with drinking and alcoholism and addiction. I saw it all over my family unit. And so when it came time to drinking, it was normal for me. Like, it was like, of course I'm going to drink. My parents do it. I started drinking early. I started drinking when I was 12. And I drank to black out. And every time I drank, I blacked out. And I didn't realize that was a problem. I didn't realize that was happening. Right. Right. Who nobody educates you on like what happens. You take those classes when you're in school, like don't drink and drive, right? The Reagan, Nancy's like, this is an egg.
Just
this
say
is your
no.
brain, right? This is your brain.
Yeah. That actually kept me off heroin, to be honest.
Okay. It was working.
I did every other damn thing. But.
Right. So it was just a natural progression for me to start drinking and to feel like I was an adult. My parents or my mother had left when I was 5. So I was like the little lady of the house, and I wanted to be an adult. I already felt like an adult. So drinking was a part of that world. And I graduated early. My parents didn't know. I was out of the house. I was working. I was like coming home like it was school. Like it was nuts.
How old were you when you graduated?
17.
So you were out of the okay. So graduated and sort of like on your own.
Yeah, I was on my own and taking college courses. So I was like ahead of the game, so to speak.
Did you have that typical fun with problems than just problems?
It's just problems. For me, I was super high functioning. I always, landed up on my feet. I did really well in my life as I look back. I got into the fashion industry. I became a model. I modeled for many, many years. I made a lot of money. I met a lot of people. I was successful. And, you know, at the end of my drinking, it was, you know, I lived in the Hollywood Hills. I lived in this big house. And I joke about this, but I had like 5 closets and I had like 500 pair of shoes. But it was, you know, me and my partner, a party of 2, and it was miserable, even though I was functioning, making a lot of money, had 2 cars, all the stuff.
Wow.
Yeah. And because I drank and used with people who drank and used like me, but the difference between them and me is that they would go to work the next day. Right. I would be calling in and saying, I can't make it. I'm sick again. Like, you know, whatever excuse I had. Right.
Yeah.
They didn't have those excuses.
Right.
So, you know, I just like,
how old were you when you were coming to this realization?
in my late 20s.
Late
So,
20s. Wow, that's
yeah.
early. Late 20s. You're like a crash and burn.
Yeah.
I mean, I relate.
I mean, I started drinking when I was 12 though. Right. So I put some good time in and I had some good, like I had some good times and good people and like,
yes.
yeah, dance the night away. Like, but I also hurt a lot of people and caused a lot of wreckage.
Probably had experienced, created some trauma for yourself.
Lots.
Maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure.
I only say that because I relate.
Yeah. Yeah. There's definitely been trauma. I've had to go through healing on that trauma. I've had to let go of a lot of my past.
Ooh, now that is interesting because I think it's so hard to make peace with the past and just let go.
Yeah. Like I had to learn how to let go of my family relations. Right. You know, I worked with somebody, a mentor who, you know, she said, you know, why do you keep going back to the well? The well is dry. Because I kept going back to my parents. I kept asking them to participate and to be in my life. I kept wanting them, but they didn't know how to interact with me. They abused me, like either like emotionally, spiritually, verbally, but I just kept going back. I just expected them to be different. And this is, you know, in sobriety, I've had to unwind and untangle myself from those relationships and stand on my own and be okay with that. Knowing that if they pass yesterday or tomorrow, I'm okay with it because I know that the damage that they were causing my soul was more than that relationship was worth.
Right.
I didn't want to keep going back to that, you know, like that. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
For a sober woman, I can't keep doing that to myself.
Right. That takes a lot of courage and a lot of self-awareness.
Takes a lot of work.
Takes a lot of work.
Takes a lot of work. It just, you know, it's been work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's effort in the sense of you have to be very present, very aware.
Yes.
Don't take the action that, you know, it's all about, we talk about cause and effect, right? So, you know, being willing to acknowledge reality.
Yes.
Right. Like you don't go to the don't look for bread at the hardware store.
Right.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
Can't beat the dead horse. Like, no.
No. Just stop it.
Just stop.
Just stop. So what did you have, like a moment of clarity or a bottoming out of sorts that led you to say, I have to stop drinking and using and get sober and get help and all that?
No. It really, like, I think finding recovery and getting sober was a pure act of divine intervention. I wasn't looking for it. My girlfriend at the time, we, you know, drank and used. And again, we had a crew of friends and our life looked good. Let's just put it that way. And, you know, somebody offered me white wine on a New Year's, like we went to a New Year's Eve party. It wasn't New Year's Eve. It was the night before. And I just was like, I don't like white wine. okay, let's just start there. And that's all they had. Can you believe that?
It's weird.
Yeah, I was just like, ugh. And, they said, okay, we're going to toast, this is our toast. And I just, that was my last drink was, a sip of that half a glass of white wine. And I put it down and then I just never picked up again. And I had this, towards the more of end of my drinking, I would, like really party and binge. And then I would kind of clean up, for a good 3 weeks or so. That was kind of my pattern. And I just never picked up again after that. And there's no rhyme or reason to it. I ended up at a mutual aid meeting because my girlfriend's parents happened to be members of this community. And
is it okay to say vaguely what kind of community?
It was a 12
numbers.
Step.
Okay.
12 step.
Okay,
and
12. Okay. So.
We went to this and I thought it was a party. Like I thought it was a New Year's Eve party. And they all had like, they were so happy to see me when I got there. And they said, "Oh my God, we're so happy you're here." And they handed me this little Dixie plate of cookies and a cup of coffee. And I was like, yes, these people know who I am. I felt so important. I felt like I arrived, and like nobody was treating me like with kindness, like they were treating me, right? Yeah. Like the month before I went to a party with Madonna and Tom Ford and, like this crew, and there was no love and kindness there. It was different. It was like, well, what are you going to do for me? Like, what do you do? Like, it was just, I don't know. There wasn't a lot of talking. There was a lot of looking. There was a lot of dancing.
Everyone was too cool.
But it was too cool. Yeah, there wasn't the connection that I felt when I walked in and they handed me those stupid cookies. Right? Like I will never forget those Christmas cookies. Or the New Year,
so
the Dixie plate of cookies. Yeah, and that was it. I was in after that. Like I didn't feel the need to take a drink.
And when was that?
That was 1996.
Wow, that is a long ass time. So did you start, so they invited you to attend 12-step meetings, and did you start going regularly?
I didn't know what I was doing at the time. Like I had no idea because again, I thought it was a party. And
it does feel like a party a lot of times.
Right? It does. They were so happy.
Fun people.
Yeah. So, I got back to Los Angeles because we were in Boston in Massachusetts, and I got back and I said, I don't know what's going on here. Like, what do I do? And I called my girlfriend at the time, mother, and I said, what do I do? And she's like, well, let me make some phone calls and find out where you can go. And, she just kind of shuffled me into other mutual aid meetings. And I was able to kind of find my footing. And what was really great is that because I was hanging out with the likes, when I went to a meeting, there were others, celebrities and icons. And I thought, oh, these are my people. I was comfortable to hang out and be there. And it just happened. Like the magic happened. It poured over me. They accepted me. Like I hadn't been accepted like that in a long time, like they made me feel like a part of, and I hadn't felt like I was a part of. And they offered me coffee.
Man, but the feeling a part of, like having community and connection and a place where I always say that these people got my kind of crazy. Yeah. And it made like I found a new normal with these people that did that. There used to be signs in meeting rooms that would say welcome home. And I felt that to my core. Like I was home. These are my people. I am home.
These are my people.
What a relief, huh?
Oh, so much relief.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could just sit there and sink into the chair.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
It was
relax.
just relax.
So you did the whole deal. You got the sponsor and did all the 12 steps and transformed.
The miracles happened.
The miracles happen. That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And so now maybe we can transition a little bit to where you are now, because you do a lot of service work. And I have found for me that service work is one of the fastest ways to sort of rebuild self-esteem or establish self-esteem, because
Mm-hmm.
some of us don't even have it to begin with.
Yep.
And you do a lot of service work. So do you want to talk a little bit about, tell me a little bit about your podcasting and maybe some of the experiences that you've had there? Because I know you talked to some really cool people.
Yeah. I feel like service is the secret that not enough people talk about. And what I was taught is that service is literally just showing up for life.
Yeah.
And because I would call in sick a lot. I would be like, no, I can't. Or I wouldn't even show up, So service is, making a phone call. We don't even call each other anymore. Everybody's texting now.
Right.
And, there's no tone in a text. So when you send a text message, the person receiving the text messages then interprets that, and they have their own tone and their own voice. They're interpreting it.
Right.
So there's no connection between the sender and the person who receives it. So making a phone call, and then you have that voice, that tone, right? Hitting the eardrum of the receiver, which then connects to the heart, sends a signal into the brain. Connection, right? So that's a great way to be of service, is actually picking up the phone and making a phone call.
Absolutely.
Another way that I serve is, I'm a part of groups, and I love my podcast. I didn't plan on, this pandemic really changed things, really, really changed things. You know that, Arlena. I suddenly felt that there were going to be mothers, putting their kids in the closet, or they were going to be hiding in the closet and drinking. And I just was like, they have to know that they don't have to do that.
Right.
That there is a way out of this pandemic and daily drinking.
Right.
And that's why I started my podcast, is to share this message of hope and recovery. But one step more is that I truly believe that you have to find connection with your power, your source, whatever that may be. Mm-hmm. And I call it the GOD, or the ocean of yum. Because without that ocean of yum, there is no way that I can stand vertical. I just cannot, because life right now is really stressful. Yeah. I have a 12-year-old, and I have the 2 dogs. I have a partner. I live in San Francisco, right? Like, there's issue after issue after issue just being poured on top. And if I am not plugged into the ocean of yum, then a drink sounds really good. And if it's not a drink, then, well, why don't you have 5 cookies?
Right.
Or why not just eat a pint of ice cream? Because once I start eating that pint of ice cream or the 5 cookies, I start feeling like crap. Yeah. And when I feel like crap, I might as well drink. Like, why not? Like, who cares? Nobody cares. Right. Like that, ugh.
Buckets. We get the buckets.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really. Yeah. The sugar. Yeah. So you're in long-term sobriety, like, it sounds like you've sort of gotten to that place of like, I'm not above, like, I've never taken my sobriety for granted, in the sense that I'm not going to be one of those people that be like, oh, not me. I'm not going to ever get loaded again. It's the opposite of that.
No, I think the longer we're sober, it's right there. It is right there.
Yeah. We're still just as vulnerable, but I could fuck up a plate of cookies like nobody's business.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
Is that so wrong? Anyway, but yeah, sugar is a thing. So we do have to, but so you have learned other ways to cope. And so I would love to hear. So you teach, are you a yoga teacher too? Did I see that or am I making that up?
yeah, I am. I don't teach publicly. Like I am a yin and
Yin yoga.
yeah, yin yoga. I do regular yoga. Yes, I've done all of that.
Okay.
But yoga is not my thing. It's meditation and mindfulness are my lanes that I stay in.
So I love that because I feel like I feel like meditation is so important. I was listening to this lady who helped Jennifer Hudson lose all that weight, and she's like a weight loss, Katie Couric, and all these.
Yep.
And
Yep.
she said that meditation was her number one weight
Yep.
loss
Yep.
tool. It's like this secret. So for those who either don't understand meditation or they hear meditation, they think, oh, that means that you don't sit and you don't think of anything. And I'm horrible. Like everybody I talk to about meditation says that they're horrible at it, but I think they don't understand what it is. Can you sort of give us a 101 of what meditation is and how to do it?
So meditation is the practice of practicing to meditate. It is really about, we have this mind that is super active, right? Our eyes open and we're instantly up into, this beta brain, which is like, go, 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 go. And so meditation just takes the brain waves down into, like if you can just get to a neutral state and then we take it down even further into this dreamy place, that's where we want to live, right? We want to live in this like theta, like yumminess, where we can change the way that we believe, change the way that we see the world. And meditation is an opportunity to make change in your life. It's an opportunity to get quiet. So everybody is going to be thinking. If you're not thinking and you're meditating, you're dead. That's like, forget it. Like thoughts are going to be there. It's okay.
Right. Your brain's job is to think.
Yeah, that's it, right? I mean, you know that. But where it gets tricky is people have these expectations of, oh, I'm going to meditate and I'm going to become super chill and cool. And I'm going to be like that all the time because now I have a meditation practice. No, that's not what's going to happen. Like reality check. We live and we're awake like 14 hours a day and we have craziness coming at us. And so how do you manage that craziness? If you have a practice, then maybe you'll respond differently, right? Maybe you'll have more time before you respond. That's what a practice will implement in your life.
So it's totally cause and effect. You do the meditation practice and you have a little more pause. You're able to, like you said, right from the very, very beginning, slow down.
Yeah. Slow down.
Being able to slow down.
You're not so reactionary, right? Everybody's so reactionary. Yeah. Like I had this woman the other day, just like send me a text. Like she was yelling at me and I was like, what? And I didn't even do anything. Like literally didn't do anything. She came up on the Zoom thing and sent me I was like, whoa, what just happened?
Yeah.
Because there's reaction.
Right. So she was super reactive or triggered by something and you were able to.
I was like, oh, wow. I didn't do anything because I don't need to do anything.
Smart. Yeah. That's recovery right there for you.
Yeah. I don't need to get involved with that. So that's what meditation practice will do, is it will guide me to clearer actions or non-actions.
Clear right? I don't want actions or non-actions.
Yeah. I don't want to be causing more harm. I've caused a lot of harm, right on this planet, drinking and not drinking.
Same.
Right?
Same, girl. Yeah.
So it's like, now my job is to be less reactive and slow down and help others to navigate a softer, quieter, calmer path.
Mm,
Yeah.
that sounds yummy. You keep using that word yummy, and I love
Yeah.
it. I'm
The
all about
ocean of
yummy.
yum. Yeah.
Ocean of yum.
Yeah.
Um, so if somebody is just starting out meditating, do you have a recommendation of like how to start a practice?
Just start. Like a lot of people get caught up in like, what do I do?
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Like, what do I do? And then they start doing their research online, and then they're like, oh, I have to sit for 5 minutes. Oh, I have to look at the flame of a candle. And then they get frustrated with, but my mind is very busy. I'm still
Right.
thinking. That didn't work. The practice is to practice and to remember to practice every day. Because when you do, then your mind slows down and you become calm. So the action is just to do it. The action is to go outside and look at a tree for 5 minutes. Right? I teach a class every Wednesday night here in San Francisco. And this last Wednesday, he said, one of my students said, I'm still thinking, Lane. Like, what am I doing wrong? Like, you're not doing anything wrong. Just keep practicing. The way that you practice and the way that you meditate is your experience. So go out and look at a tree for 5 minutes and just look at the tree, right? Sit quietly. Don't look at your phone for 5 minutes. Do the dishes. Start there. Clean your bathroom, right? All of these quiet actions can become meditation. I think a lot of people, when they're first starting out, it's like, oh, I got to sit and I got to cross my legs. I got to put a blanket on. I got to look at the candlelight. No, right? You can actually do the dishes and meditate. It's okay. You can actually take a walk. It's okay.
Yeah.
And you can like read a passage from Came to Believe and then just sit there with it. So
Contemplate.
simple. Yeah.
Love it. The way I started my meditation practice was through guided meditations on YouTube.
Yep.
Well, I take that back. I did stuff like I went to ashrams and sat in rooms and omed with people as that was actually a really cool experience. I found meditating in a group was really cool.
Yep.
But then I did other kinds of meditation where I just focused on the breath, like they say focus on the tip of your nose, and if the sensation of air leaving, your chest going up and down. But it was a relief to know that my brain's job is to think, and that I'm going to have thoughts.
Yeah.
And that as soon as I notice I'm thinking, to just bring my attention back to the breath. And that's kind of the jumping off place for me.
Yeah. And it takes a practice.
Yeah.
To know that.
Yeah.
Right. It's a daily thing. It's not like a weekly or monthly. It's like every day. It's like brushing your teeth.
Yes.
Right. Your brain is super active. So when we implement a practice and we start to meditate every day, you're nourishing your brain.
Right.
Right. We know that in 8 weeks, you can see the gray matter change. Like, hello. It's brilliant.
So good. So good. And it's free and easy. Well, free and simple, maybe.
Well, it takes active participation.
Yeah. I love that.
And meditating in a group is so great. And having a teacher, like I love when my students are in a circle or on the Zoom, right? And I can watch them come in and out of coherence and see what happens. It's the best. So I'm pro group meditation.
Yeah, it's experience. It's an amazing experience.
Yeah.
You mentioned facilitating groups. If people want to get involved with you, reach out to you to learn how to meditate and practice mindfulness, what's the best way for them to reach out to you?
So I have a members area where they can plug in. It's members.connectedcalmlife.com.
Is that also, you also, I wish I could talk today. Do you also connect to that through lanekennedy.com?
Yes, you can go to lanekennedy.com and then there's a join.
Yes.
button.
I looked at your website. It's really pretty. It's very clean. It's very easy to navigate. It has the podcast on there and a way to connect with you.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much for your time today. And listen, thank you for all the service work that you do. I know you benefit from it,
Mm-hmm.
and that's largely, it's a twofold reason we do. I don't mean to speak for you, but the work that you do is really important. And I just am grateful that you're out there and doing the deal and helping so many people.
Trying, Arlena. And it is about, like, I want to be a good mother. I want to be a good partner. I want to be a good friend. Right. So the more that I'm invested in helping other people on the recovery journey, the better I feel, but the better my relations, my relations are,
Yeah.
I was really angry and rageful in sobriety, and I don't want to go back to that.
Right.
Like, I want to stay on the happy beam.
This is just stay on the beam.
Yeah.
Don't come back. Just stay.
Just stay. Yeah.
Well, that was beautiful. Thank you so much, Lane, for all you do. And I just really enjoyed our time together. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, Arlena.
Have a great day.
You too.